Godfrey's reign as the first Elden Lord of the Golden Order was as magnificent as it was tragic. Few knew of the sacrifice he made to conform to Queen Marika's rulership over the lands between. The Godfrey icon talisman reveals that, upon taking the vow to become Lord, Godfrey took the beast Regent SEROSH upon his back to suppress the ceaseless lust for battle that raged within him, allowing him to discard his former identity as the legendary Horolow and assume the persona of Godfrey. But who was this enigmatic creature who had the ability to calm the relentless warrior spirit that had driven him to countless victories before? In this video, we're going to attempt to answer this very question and determine exactly who and what Beast Regent SEROSH was. The name SEROSH has Indo-Muslim roots and can be translated to mean unseen voice, voice from heaven, or message brought by an angel. A fitting name considering his ghost-like appearance and the calming effect he had on his willing host. But was SEROSH truly an angel, or something altogether different? From a visual standpoint, SEROSH shares an uncanny resemblance to the ashes the Tarnished can summon in battle. However, we know that SEROSH can take on a corporeal form of flesh and blood at will, as evidenced by Godfrey's transformation into Horolow. In this scene, SEROSH releases his talons and clamped jaw from Godfrey's back and moves forward as if opting to battle in his place. Instead, Godfrey politely declines his offer and proceeds to break SEROSH's jaw and peel him off of his back, issuing a long-awaited sigh of relief when the deed was done. It's more likely that in order to fulfill Queen Marika's wishes, SEROSH was, for lack of a better term, spiritually grafted to Horolow. Essentially, SEROSH's suppression of Horolow acted as a power limiter of sorts that held his uncontrollable bloodlust at bay, affording him the opportunity to act with the grace and etiquette that befit a lord, hence the Godfrey alter ego. One can even take note of the eloquent manner in which he speaks while he acts as Godfrey, and the more literal and direct language he uses as Horolow. If we travel to the Bestial Sanctum and provide 7 death roots to Gurranq, he rewards us with the Beast Claw Great Hammer. Upon reading the item description, we learn that the black nails protruding from golden fur are said to represent SEROSH, Lord of the Beasts, who went to become King Godfrey's regent. This is incredibly interesting because we discover not one but 2 invaluable pieces of information. SEROSH held a high station among his kind, as he was considered a lord, and he also served as regent to the throne. A regent is defined as a person appointed to administer a country because the monarch is absent or incapacitated. The reference to beast may very well have ties to Farum Azula and may provide a possible explanation for SEROSH's origins. Perhaps in the fall of the Age of the Crucible, SEROSH was a casualty of war that Marika chose to repurpose. SEROSH's title as regent reveals to us that his presence was a physical hindrance to the once proud warrior and quite literally restricted Godfrey from unleashing the battle-ready beast within. It's unknown how the 2 souls were grafted to each other, but it's apparent that SEROSH had the ability to not only siphon Godfrey's power, but also alter his personality, which bears an uncanny resemblance to a parasite in nature. Some parasites in particular can live outside of the host and cause a number of symptoms that include weakness and lethargy. Additionally, if the host suffers from lymphedema, a number of complications can arise, including, but not limited to, depression. The flavor text for the Elden Lord set alludes to Godfrey's state of mind. He led the war against the giants, faced the Storm Lord alone, and then there came a moment when his last worthy enemy fell. And it was then, as the story is told, that the hue of Lord Godfrey's eyes faded. Although it's possible that Godfrey's demeanor changed since he could no longer prove his might on the battlefield, it's interesting to note the direct effects that SEROSH had on the Lord of War himself. It's almost as if Godfrey's role as king was truly relegated to swinging an axe, while SEROSH used his namesake, voice from heaven, to spread the word of the golden lineage in his weakened host's stead. The item description for the golden beast crest shield supports this notion as it states, "The beast depicted is SEROSH, aged counselor who guided the golden lineage." If we consider the information we've gathered from the items featuring his visage, we come to the shocking conclusion that it was SEROSH that was leading the golden lineage, not Godfrey. The once proud warrior, Horolow, had been reduced to a puppet dressed in golden garb, whose worth and value would prove to be a brief glimmer for the age he had worked so hard to usher in. And that's all for this video. Until next time, it's the Inhuman One signing out.